Welcome back to Holding the Harvest. I'm your host, Sarah Esposito, and today I am blessing you all with a singular episode. It is my Mother's Day special. Yes, Mother's Day is this Sunday, May 10th, 2026. And for every mother out there, I commend you. We are all badasses. Happy Mother's Day. I am going on my 6th Mother's Day this year, which is honestly crazy to think about that I'm going to have a 6-year-old by the end of this year. I also want to touch on my very first Mother's Day. I had food poisoning and we had a huge event scheduled to go out to eat for Mother's Day and to celebrate. And we had to cancel it because I was throwing up the whole night before and most of the day on Mother's Day. And that was in 2021. So at first I was like, oh no, I have COVID. No, it was not that. I realized that a restaurant that I'd eaten at actually had issues. I got food poisoning from it, which was crazy, very violent. And I didn't know at first if it was like a stomach bug. So I wore a mask around Lena because I was so worried. So yeah, good times. Good times. That was, my first Mother's Day. So the day after Mother's Day is when Lena and I wore our matching Mother's Day shirts because we were supposed to wear them on Mother's Day, but I did not do anything that day. Knock on wood, every Mother's Day since then has been wonderful. And looking forward to celebrating with the family this weekend. I love seeing my mom, my mother-in-law, my grandmom, Gino's grandmom. It's always so nice to spend a lot of time with, all the moms in my life who mean so much to me. All of my friends who are moms, my cousins, my friends who are pregnant. I mean, this is the day that we all get to celebrate together, and it's so, so wonderful. So happy Mother's Day to all of you. I'm going to touch on things that I like to do for myself to feel like a better mother, things that have changed in me since becoming a mom, but also things that have stayed the same because I feel like we're obviously not the same person before we have children, but there are parts of us that are still there and will never go away. But first and foremost, before I get into all of my Mother's Day stuff, since I am doing a singular episode, I'm going to sit here and try to talk to all of you for 30 minutes if I can. If I don't make it that long, don't hate me. It's honestly hard. It's hard to sit here and talk by myself for 30 minutes. I'm not going to lie. This is the third time I hit record because I didn't like anything that I recorded before this. So yeah, I'm being real. I'm being so for real. When I started this podcast, I was not prepared for how hard it was to sit here and talk for a long time alone. Hence why I have all of these guests every week. But I wanted to thank literally everyone and anyone who has followed, liked, shared, subscribed, listened, watched, all of the above, spread by word of mouth, anything regarding this podcast. It means the world to me. I've literally just been doing this out of my basement since the beginning of March. It's truly been so much fun. It's not even about the views or the listens that I get. It's just every time I turn off the record button or every time I hit publish on an episode, I truly get so excited. And that's just because I'm doing what I love. And I really hope that I can take this far. So please, if you can, continue to share and like and follow and spread this around to everyone you know, anyone who would think this is interesting. Thank you again. I do want to thank all the guests that I've had so far on the show. So Selena, Brett, Summer, Marissa, Jamie, Alex, and Dana. You guys are amazing. All badass women, wonderful women who I'm inspired by. I'm inspired by each of them in a different way. And I've learned so much about them, even though I only got to talk to them for 45 minutes if I average out every episode. And these are women that I know them pretty well too. And I learned so much from them just by sitting face to face with them on this screen. And they all shared their stories in very vulnerable ways, but also in a lot of good and strong ways. I mean, they're so confident and poised, and I just commend them. And coming on here is not easy. I will be the first to admit, like, I get nervous still recording, and even if it's someone I know, I still get nervous. So thank you guys. Thank you all for doing this. I am grateful to each and every one of you. And to all of my future guests who are coming out soon, I would love to share all of your names, but for now, I'm just gonna say thank you again for recording with me. I do like to keep it a little bit of a surprise, so stay tuned for who I have upcoming next, because they're just as special. Again, learning so much about people that I didn't know. It's amazing. So yeah, that's about wraps it up for my my guests. But if anyone is interested in being a guest on the show, please feel free to message me. I will talk to anybody. So that's another thing. Don't ever feel like you need me to reach out to you. You can reach out to me because I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'm just trying to talk. That's all. So let's do it. So let's get into Mother's Day, my Mother's Day segment. I feel like the first thing I want to really dive into is things that I've tried to do for myself since becoming a mom. And that's literally, I feel like exercise is the biggest thing. And I mean that in a way of I never want to stop moving. I want to be able to chase my children around the yard in my 50s. I want to be able to just continue running around the yard with them. I want to be able to stand at a baseball game or a soccer game and not need a chair. I want to be able to just keep moving. And I will say, since having Peter 10 months ago now, which is crazy to believe, exercise has been a little bit harder, a little bit more challenging to manage the time. I do have a full-time job. Peter is home with me every day. My older two are in school, but Augie does have daycare just half days. So a lot of the time it's me trying to balance working with a child at home. If I get to exercise, it is a wonderful thing. But one thing I've been trying to incorporate is I have a treadmill. I have a Peloton treadmill in my basement, and I have a tray for it. And I'm not sure if every treadmill has this. I feel like you can probably find one that will, if you could probably find a tray that will work for your treadmill. But what I do is, if say you work at home or say you have stuff to do and online and you want to walk at the same time, I've been putting my work computer on the tray and I walk while I work. So I only go a 2.7, but I feel like me moving at that speed is great because one, I don't have to worry about risking injury. And two, I can still look at the computer and get work done without feeling like I'm sprinting. And it's been great. It's one way that I've really tried to incorporate exercise when I feel like I'm not going to get to it during the day because of work or because I'm needed in other areas. I do also do it when my boys are napping, because if I don't, I can't usually work out if the kids are moving around down here. Peter is not crawling yet, but once he does, then I'm really going to have to do this only at his nap time, because he's going to just come over to it, and then that risks injury right there. But it's definitely been beneficial. And it's, like I said, has been a great way for me to incorporate exercising when I feel like I'm not going to get to it that day. So just a little suggestion for any moms who may feel like they don't have time. I also just know from the walks that I do, I'm immediately in another state. I feel great afterwards. My endorphins are boosted. It is so true that movement is medicine. I will never deny that in my any kind of lifetime. I remember when I first had Augie, this was at my 6-week checkup. I was so tired. And I know I was so tired because I wasn't sleeping at night. And I remember the doctor saying, well, now you're cleared to exercise again. So, as much as you want, whatever speed or whatever you want to do. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. Like, he keeps me up all night long. Like, I am exhausted. And she was like, Sarah, just listen real quick. And I was like, okay. She was like, you haven't been able to boost endorphins for 6 weeks, really. So she was like, try to just walk for maybe 10 minutes on your treadmill or walk outside. Mind you, it was February at this point, so it was cold. I was not walking outside, and I was like, you know what? I'll try it. I'll try it. And when I tell you how much that changed for me, I immediately felt like a new woman. I may have only gotten 3 hours of sleep the night before, but I felt like I could go for another 10 hours. And that was simply from like a 15-minute walk on the treadmill. I turned on Jess Sims, one of my favorite Peloton instructors, and she always starts her exercises with, the hardest part of the workout is check done. You are here. And I try to keep that mindset whenever I go into a workout. It's like the toughest part of the workout is literally just showing up for it. Once you're in it, just do it. Just do it. And something I've carried with me into the pregnancy with Peter, I worked out for the entire pregnancy with him. And now afterwards, like I said, I'm trying to incorporate walking as much as I possibly can. If it means that I have to walk and work, I will do it. I will do it. So just another way to try to make sure that I'm here for as long as I can. I want to be here. I want to see everything. I want to see every milestone my kids hit. I want to be present for them. And I never want to not feel well. So another thing would be also eating as best I can as well. That's a huge, huge part of it as well. Everything you put in your body, it's it's either does you good or does you not good. And I've definitely in the last 2 months really stuck with healthy, good, nourishing meals because one, it's going to make me feel better. And two, it's going to keep me here longer. So exercising and eating better are definitely two things that have been huge for me since becoming a mom. So another thing I wanted to talk about was who else can relate to this is who I was before I became a mom versus who I am now. And honestly, I don't think it's as simple as like a before and after. It's more like before I had space, before I had more time to think about myself or my plans, my routines, what I needed that day. And I could kind of move through life lighter, not lighter, but just like more freely. Like I could just, if I was home and I had to go run to the store, I could literally just get up and go to the store. I could literally just go up and get my nails done. I could go and get my hair done. I could just get up and go. And now everything has depth to it. Like truly, it's depth. That's like the main word here. My days are fuller, and that's not just in what I do, but in what I feel. I've become more patient in some ways, but I also lack patience when there's 3 babies screaming at me and I can't help all 3 of them at once. Like that's when I'm like, okay, we got to stop. We got to stop. I can't handle this. I can't handle this. And my kids are very needy. We're in a very needy stage. So I have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 10-month-old now, and they are very needy. So I'm learning how to become more patient as the stages of motherhood change. So anyone who is kind of feeling like, am I ever going to get a break? Yes, but no. Like you're never really going to ever be on a break. It's just like, it's just kind of pivoting through what needs are needing to be met. I would say that I care about things differently now. Little things matter to me more. time matters more. Being present matters more. I've noticed if I'm sitting on my phone for too long and my kids are just sitting there, like kind of looking at me, I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing on my phone? And I'll put it down real quick and I'll be like, okay, I'm devoting, 15 good solid minutes to whatever they want to do. And if that is reading a book or coloring, I mean, Lena loves to color. So my husband and I will literally just sit at the counter and color with her. And then Augie, he loves to read Brown Bear, Brown Bear. So I will sit there and I will read Brown Bear with him. I will watch it on YouTube and it like sings a whole song with you. And even Peter, like helping him get around the house. Like he's almost there about crawling. He's like right there. We're getting him in position. He fights it a lot, which Augie did as well. I just am trying to be very intuitive and being present. I think obviously the biggest shift is just I don't exist for myself anymore, which became a thing when Lena was born. I knew right away this is about her. And then when I had Augie, it was about her and Augie. And then Peter, her, Augie, and Peter. So there's just a constant awareness and responsibility. But it's an incredible purpose. It's something that I've wanted. I've wanted to be a mom my whole life. I've wanted to just have children and love children and have children love me and have the relationship that I have with my mom, with my kids. And it's happening. Every child that I've had is just an answered prayer. It's everything I've ever wanted. So, but that's not to say that there aren't parts of my old life that I miss. I feel like this is what any mom could go to. I mean, sometimes I don't hear a quiet moment until 8 p.m. It could be nonstop loudness from literally 6:30 in the morning until 8 p.m. when my kids actually go to sleep. I guess like independence also, because not that I'm not independent, but that I have to do like I said before, if I have to go anywhere, I usually have to bring them with me if Gino is not home or I don't have a babysitter. But I will say I don't miss the old Sarah. Who I am now is stronger, softer, more grounded, and just more aware of what actually matters. Like at the end of the day, the only ones that matter are Gino and the kids. And that's it. Becoming a mom did not take pieces of me away. It just revealed these parts of me that I like did not even know were there, did not even know existed. And I'm definitely evolving every day. So any mom who, could agree with at least one of those things, I hope I was heard. I hope you heard it. You are special. You are really special. And being a mom it's like I said, not a before and an after of who you were versus who you are now. It's kind of just how you've evolved. And like I said, being on my 6th Mother's Day now, I feel like I can really sit back and reflect on all of the lessons that I've learned since becoming a mom. One emotional topic about Mother's Day, I would say, is looking back at photos of my kids when they were smaller and trying not to wish these days away. I feel like that's something that a lot of us do, especially when we're in the thick of raising these kids and feeling like sometimes we're alone doing it. But I love going back and looking at photos of my kids when they were small. I mean, it's just the sweetest thing. I love seeing pictures of them playing and like comparing it to how they play now. What I said in my last episode with Summer, my kids, obviously we live on a blueberry farm, and I take photos of them every year next to a blueberry plant picking a blueberry to see just the change in their height and their facial changes. Like their faces are just like growing up, and it's so wild. So one thing I feel like as a mom, we obviously do this all the time. We take pictures of our kids and how they are evolving. Really, another word, another term to put evolving in is like just how they're growing. Um, I would say to definitely try to take your kid, put them somewhere in the house and take a photo of them, and then like a year later put them in the same spot and just see the difference. It's so sad, but it's also so cool. Like I love seeing that. So it's another thing I wanted to chat about was like seeing their changes each year. A little bit more of a lighthearted topic I wanted to discuss here was mom brain. Now, there's pregnancy brain, which kind of never leaves you because I think it just turns into mom brain. This is something that it's a way to keep it real. I feel like I'm just so confused sometimes, or I'm just like, whoa, like what? How did I forget that? Or how did I mix up my kids' names? Like my mom used to call me Sophia. She still does. She calls me Sophia all the time. And she calls Sophia Sarah literally all the time. And I find myself not doing that with Lena because Lena's my only girl, but I call the boys Lena or Augie and Peter. I like interchange that all the time. Now, I thought it was like a joke that it actually happens because I would always tell my mom, oh my God, you like always forget my name or you always say it wrong. And I still do that to her, but not as much because I'm living through it. No, it's very real. So not too long ago, Peter was like laying on the floor and Gino was in the kitchen and he was whining. Peter was whining. And he's like, he was tired. He was ready for bed. And the other two were about to get a bath. And I was looking at Peter and I said, hold on, Daddy, Peter's coming to sit with you in a second. And I was like, whoa, how did I just do that? And Gino is literally looking at me and he's like, what did you just say? And I was like, yeah, I definitely just swapped your names in that sentence. And he was like, I will never let you live that down. And he does not remember the context of it every time, but he does not let me live it down that I called Peter Daddy and Daddy G. Like, I don't know. That just solidified my life. So, yeah, I also forget where I put stuff, especially if I'm hiding things for my kids. So Augie's school was they had a bunch of books that they were nicely used or like barely used books, and she had them on a table and she was like, take as many as you want. So I took a few, and this was right before Christmas, so I'm like, oh good, I'll give them to them as a Christmas present. And I left them in my trunk. So Lena sits in my third row, but I put them behind her seat so she couldn't see them. And you know, she looked at them and was like, oh my goodness, Mom, look at all these nice books. And I was like, how do I get out of this? So I was like, those were actually for your birthday. So now I have to hide them from you and wait until your birthday. So she didn't actually see them really well. She just saw that one was like very pink. So I hid them. And her birthday rolls around. I'm looking in every area of my house, could not find it. I'm in the closets. I'm in the basement. I'm in her bedroom, my bedroom. I'm like, where could I have possibly put them? Christmas goes by, still don't find them. So we are now in May, and I just found those books 2 weeks ago. I just found them 2 weeks ago, and they were so I have a linen closet in my hallway where near the kids' bedrooms. And I have a shelf up there that actually has like extra mattress pads and I had crib sheets there that I hadn't used for so long. And I actually put the books behind them. And when I went to grab the crib sheets to put them on this is embarrassing, to put them on the couch cushions that my dogs cut with their nails, that's when I found them. So Lena got like 7 books last week and she remembered right away. She's like, oh my goodness, these were from months ago. And you said you hid them and you can never find them. And I was like, yeah, it's like, I found them now. She's like, where'd you find them? And I'm like, I'm not telling you. You don't need to know my hiding spot because I am embarrassed that I didn't know where my hiding spot was. So yeah, mom brain is so real. Um, and it's just like another mental tab to add to all the things that we moms need. Um, and sometimes I do laugh at it, like the whole thing with mixing up the names. But sometimes I get frustrated by it. And I'm like, I can't even have a discussion because I'm saying so many. People probably think I sound crazy. So it can be frustrating at times. If my brain is feeling a little scattered at times, I feel like it's just because my heart is so full. If that can make it, make it sound like it's more normal. My heart is very full. So every time I have mom brain, I'm like, which kid can I blame this on? Which pregnancy can I blame this on? So yeah, mom brain is real, never goes away. But yeah, pregnancy brain, that's a whole nother thing. That I feel like I forgot everything when I was pregnant, truly. So another thing we get to carry in motherhood. Happy Mother's Day to all the women that forget what their sentences are about. Another topic I wanted to discuss today was how going from 1 kids to 2 kids and then 2 kids to 3 kids, how much more confident I got each time. Obviously, like having your first kid, you are unsure of everything. You don't know what's to come. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what they need. You don't know what they want. It's hard to trust everybody's opinions. You're hearing so many things from doctors, from your peers, and then you've got your family. Like you're just constantly hearing opinions. And when I had Lena, it was 2020. So it was prime COVID. She was born December 3rd, 2020. And that was a crazy time. But I didn't know the cues of a baby and what the baby needed. And then when I had Augie, I felt more confident. I knew what to expect. I knew what cues I had to look for, what hunger cues, what crying meant, what certain cries meant. And I also had Lena for help. I mean, she was so helpful. She still is. She is like a second mom to my boys. And the confidence went up because I just felt better in my shoes. Then I felt guilty in a way as well because I felt like, oh, you got a better version of me than Lena did at the time. Mom guilt never goes away. Then Peter came around and I feel like he also got a very good version of me and that my other 2 didn't. So it's like that was another thing that I really had to work on was being confident in myself each time, but also trying not to let the guilt come over me, thinking about the other kids and what kind of like what their experience with me, if that makes sense. I don't know. That's something I'm still working on is the confidence. And I feel like patience is another thing, is just working on being able to split my time and love between all 3 kids. This is one of my favorite quotes in motherhood. And I think any mom is going to understand this with the nth degree. It is, I struggle so deeply to understand how someone can pour their entire soul, blood, and energy into someone without wanting anything in return. I will have to wait till I'm a mother. And that just is everything. When you become a mom, everything changes and everything you live for and do, again, is for your child. And we're doing it because we love them. We're not asking for anything in return. And it's a beautiful thing. So I'm going to close this out. I hope that I've reached more listeners with this Mother's Day special. I love doing this. I don't think I ramble too much. I cut out the clips where I was like, I don't know what I'm saying here, or I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm getting better at editing, so take that into consideration. But super, super happy to be doing this. You will all catch me here next Thursday. I will be right back here with another episode of Holding the Harvest. And again, happy Mother's Day to all of you. You can find me on Instagram and YouTube at Holding the Harvest Podcast. You can also listen to me on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Again, happy Mother's Day. Thank you, everyone. I will see you all next Thursday.